in New South Wales, and we're joined now from New South Wales SES headquarters by its Acting Deputy Commissioner, Mark Morrow. Mark, good morning. You've had a couple of hours of light now this morning to be out and about. What are your workers in the field telling you?
At this stage, we haven't had any reports back from those flood rescues overnight, but I suspect what we will find is when we turn out to these locations that we're finding vehicles that are empty, or in fact there's no one there because the calls were made in the dark of the night. So at this stage, no bad reports. We haven't had any reports of anyone that's been located deceased. We hope it stays that way, but we'll keep working through those calls until we get through the whole lot and identify exactly what happened overnight.
And what is the latest with the floodwaters there?
Certainly, we've still got some rivers rising. We've still got a number of evacuation orders that are current. It's disappointing to see images in the media this morning of people that are actually still in those houses. They're in water that's up to their waist in some cases, and in some cases being walked in by members of the media, and that's disappointing as well. Evacuation orders are in place. They're there for a reason. It's for people's health and safety, and we would ask that if those orders are under those areas are under an evacuation order, that you take our advice and move out of that area.
But would it be pretty much impossible to evacuate now? You wouldn't want those people moving through those waters, would you?
Certainly we can assist, so if people need us to get them out, we've got a number of flood boats in the area. In some cases the water, we can get high clearance vehicles through. We would prefer to move them out than them to remain in a place potentially where their health is at serious risk.
Yep.
And you have to remember that there are things like snakes and other things in that flood water that are looking for somewhere to find refuge, and that's dangerous as well.
Now, do you know if power's been lost to that area? Do you know if the phone lines are working in that area?
We have heard reports that there's about 1,600 properties are subject to power loss. I suspect there's probably more than that, but certainly there's information available from the energy providers in that regard. I haven't heard any reports of mobile phone towers being down, so I think communication is still effective in those areas. Ring us on 132 500, or of course if it's life-threatening, ring 000.
All right, now can you clarify just what went on with the Lismore levee this morning, hearing reports that it's been doing what it's supposed to do, or upon looking at the situation, even though it's been raised in recent years, should it even be made higher these days?
Well, look, I'm not going to comment on whether or not it should be raised higher, but certainly the levee overtopped. Now, I'd have to have a look at whether that's a 1 in 100 year, like an extreme sort of flooding event. But certainly it overtops the levee and then it makes its way into town. And I'm sure the people of Lismore would be looking very hard at whether or not the protection that's around that town, the levee protection, is adequate. You've got businesses there that have got up to 2 metres of water through it. The recovery effort in that area is going to be big, and it's going to take a long time to get that community back to normality. There's been a number of flood events in that community, of course, over the last 10 to 15 years, and this one rates up there with the 2001 and 2005 flood events. All
right, and we're expecting that the high waters to remain in place. We were hearing before from the Mayor of Lismore there, 6 to 8 hours.
Yes, and then it'll slowly start to recede. It may be some time before we can get in there and do a proper impact assessment. In Lismore, of course, in Chinderah and around the Tweed Heads lower catchment, there's a high tide due at 1 o'clock this afternoon. That water's not actually draining away at the low tide as it came in this morning. It was actually increasing on a low tide, so that's going to cause us more concern as well as we move towards a high tide at lunchtime.
All right, terrific, Mark Morrow. Thanks for speaking to us again today and for all your attention today, and good luck to you and to your teams there.
Thank you.